Welcome to yet another episode of the Think QA podcast powered by SDET Tech. This is a podcast where we talk all things quality assurance, software testing, quality engineering. We discuss the latest trends, tools, and technologies in the world of AI-led quality assurance. This is also a podcast where we celebrate exceptional seasoned professionals who have excelled in the field of quality engineering. Our guest on the show today is one such professional who started off his career as a humble software tester in India and then moved to the US in pursuit of something bigger. And he's now leading modernization, mobile transformation, and scalable architecture as Global VP of Engineering at Explore Technologies. Throughout this podcast, we'll not only unravel his journey, but we'll also try to get a sense of what it takes to operate at his position. What are the stakes at play? And most importantly, what are the skills that will not only get you through, but will help you succeed eventually? So, welcome to the podcast, Abhishek. Good to have you.
Thank you, Akshay. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Abhishek.
Oh, Couple. Thank you.
I reckon it's pretty early for you, so thank you for doing this, Abhishek.
No, no problem. I mean, I'm early morning guy, so it's fine for me. My only issue is you said exceptional that I don't know and have very doubt. But thank you. Thanks for the nice words. You're kind.
The reason you're here on this podcast makes you one, Abhishek. So, I mean, it's an honor. It's our honor to have you on this podcast. Now, if you guys are wondering what is Kapil doing on this podcast, right? So he's graciously agreed to join me as a co-host today. Kapil, as you all know, he is the founder CEO of SDET Technologies. And this is going to be one special episode. I say special because Kapil and Abhishek here, they go back almost 2 decades. It's been 20 years, right? So we'll also try and dig out some of your secrets, guys. I hope you guys are ready.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. All right. So off the bat, Abhishek, how did your journey even begin in QA? Describe your first day as a QA engineer.
Oh, thank you. Loaded question, but I'll try. So after engineering, right? I was trying to do a lot of things, and I noticed there was a QA training program. It was kind of a good one because it gives you the trainings and you start working on the live project from day one. So that's how I started. And you asked, like, how was my first day? My first day, based on my degree, I thought that as a QA engineer, right, even as a trainee, you will start like finding bugs. So it was, but then as soon as I started, it was like kind of a mix of excitement and confusion. I came in thinking my job would be like, just to find bugs and there'll be checklists that, before release you can check off and then you'll be like handed off feature and that's what you're going to do. And again, that was theoretical concept I had, right? But as I learned more, the misconception was, started to clear up, started to learn about QA, started to practice it, and that's that's where we are here.
So did you have
And
any misconceptions about this role?
Oh yeah,
Abhishek?
my biggest misconception was that QA was only about final product,
And
testing
bugs.
final products. What I quickly learned, through training program and through started working was that QA isn't just reactive, right? You have to be very proactive to be a QA. It's about asking questions before code is written, thinking like user, maybe spotting, not maybe, actually spotting risk in requirements and influencing how overall quality is built from day one. So that was my biggest misconception, and that shift from from bug finder to quality advocate, and it's not
yeah,
something that you can learn in school or a book. You got to practice it to understand.
yeah. Even I
Right.
agree, Abhishek. And like Akshay, you asked the question from Abhishek when about his first day. Me and Abhishek started on the same day. We started the career together, right? And that was our first day together in that organization. And the one of the question from Abhishek was because Abhishek completed his engineering in 2005 and I did complete it in 2004. So he asked, "What were you doing in the last 1 year?" Right? That was the straightforward question from him. But during that journey, like, when we started, having the training and started working on the, I think on the same projects, right? I found him one of the hardworking, sincere, and committed guy. Like, so he was like, if he is having some confusion to understand something, he'll put all the efforts, right? So I have never seen such kind of person, like, who is so much dedicated when he comes to learn something or do something.
No, this is great to know. This is great. So,
And
Abhishek, how did your early experiences in QA, as you started training in QA, change the meaning of quality for you? I mean, what was that? I mean, uh, as you started training, right? I mean, you must learn about the different processes, tool stacks, right? I mean, what it takes to be a QA. So, how did your earlier experiences actually transform the definition of QA in your head or quality
yeah,
as a
as I
process?
said, right. Thank you. Glad you asked, right. As I said, my early work taught me that quality isn't just about passing test. It's about confidence. Can we release this product and trust that it won't break, right? It's about user experience, stability, performance. In a very technical terms, you say functional, non-functional tests and whatever, right?
Right.
How a product behave in real world, right? Quality includes everything from code to process to end user experience. So quality is a mindset that you have to live with, that you have to follow, that you have to pursue, right? It just isn't about, right, just doing few checks and finishing it.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, in fact, right? I mean, how do you define the quality mindset as opposed to just following QA processes? And I think it's going to be really important, right? I mean, for our young, ambitious QA professionals, right? How do you differentiate between just following QA processes as opposed to, developing that quality mindset?
Yeah, this is something I cannot, like, answer you in like few lines, but let me try. Mindset is about thinking ahead, questioning things, caring deeply about the end result. That's what matters. It's about understanding the why behind the work. Following QA processes is important. I get that, right? But without a mindset that prioritizes product health, you're just about checking boxes. So quality mindset is about, if you ask me for words, is proactive, maybe holistic, ownership driven, right? Everyone, not just QA, feels responsible for quality. It should be
Right,
customer focused. Decisions are guided by how your end users, how they impact, end user experience. Something requires continuous improvement. Isn't something that you will, like, master in a day and you can
right,
finish it, right? It just looks for ways to prevent issues, improve systems, learn from your failure, and reinvent. So just think. I mean, for a if a newbie or someone is starting a QA, I would say think beyond test cases, right? Consider performance, scalability,
right,
usability. I'm just throwing some words, but there's so much into it. Consider security as a part of quality. So it's about mindset, how you look at the product as proactive and holistic way, and not just following some of the processes. It's important you follow the process, but it's all about the mindset that drives you.
right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think,
Even
yeah,
I do agree, Akshay. Like, what Abhishek mentioned about that, taking the ownership. That's what I like, that especially that word actually. I was in one of the interview. After the interview, I was having a conversation with a client, right, and he was providing the feedback, like, So he mentioned that, Kapil, it's okay if the person is, a little less technical, right? But the person should be able to take the ownership, right? He should have that
absolutely.
in mind, or he should have that in mind, that, asking the right questions, right? Why we are building this, right? So those are, the essential thing in order to become a good QA, right?
You you
Who
you
can,
you
who,
nailed it, couple. Right? It's
yeah,
not about, like, I did it. You may use Selenium, Cypress,
correct.
APM. You can use anything. At the end, it matters is the quality. what you're delivering, right? And it comes from a mindset, ownership, as Kapil was saying, right? You gotta own it. You gotta own it from
Right.
day one to end. You gotta deliver it, right? It's just not about like, hey, I'm an automation engineer. I come, I write script. I use C sharp, Java, whatever, right? I find locators. My job is done. It's not
Right.
about job is to deliver something that user can use, right? Doesn't matter you
Absolutely.
said functional, non-functional, form is so much into it. So it's about mindset, it's about ownership, it's about delivery. So thank you.
Absolutely. You put yourself in the shoes of an end user and then, devise your test and give them the experience that you would want as an end user, right? It has to be
Exactly.
scalable, right? It has to be secure. I can attest to the security bit of it for sure, right? Performance has to be spot on. So, I mean, those are some great nuggets, right? I mean, for our young aspiring professionals. Moving on, Abhishek. See, you started off as a tester, right? And then you led your quality engineering team, right? As vice president, right? I mean, sometime back, and now you have escalated the ladder and you have moved to the position of VP of engineering. So, how does the mindset of a tester really influence your day to day as a VP of engineering? I mean, does it have any role to play? I'm sure you carry all the learnings with you. But does it have any direct impact on the decisions that you take as VP of engineering today?
Thank you, Akshay. First, leading engineering teams or leading QA teams, it's about the same, right?
Right.
I'm glad you asked, right? Let me try to explain. So it helps me look beyond just feature delivery, right? The mindset, the what I've done before, right? I think about how reliable, scalable, and testable our systems are, right? This mindset are what I practice for those many years, right? It helps me often ask, will this break under load? Can we monitor it well? How will this impact customer? That mindset help balance speed and testability, right? So basically, the mindset helps me better understand risk awareness and mitigations. If you practice QA, testers' minds are trained to anticipate what might go wrong, right? Mindset of preventions over detection. How could this have been prevented, right? Not just
Right.
not just finding and fixing it. Uh, it helps me better understand upstream quality, which is very important. I use the word upstream quality because design review, automated tests, quality, observability, it all comes and adds for the quality. That's the mindset, right? Rather than relying on downstream QA to just catch issues. So for
Right.
me, continuous feedback culture that I learned, because when you're QA, right, you that's what important to you is, right, and that's what I'm trying to do is build teams and system that adopt quality based on real world usage data and not just assumptions, right? So if you ask me to finish in one line, I would say thinking like a tester. Helps you lead with a mindset of curiosity, the risk awareness, as I was saying, and the quality ownership, which is at the end matters, right? Ensuring your org builds not just fast and but build well. That's what most important is.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
And
great.
one thing like Akshay, I would like to mention, like, I know several of us, like, who started career together, and after that, in my circle, my group, like, the friends, and then their friends and all, right? Abhishek is the only one, like, who transformed, who was QA lead manager for worked as a QA for more than a decade and all, right? I would say, and transformed his journey towards, VP engineering. I know several, including myself, like, started the companies and all. You will find so many, right? But somebody like Abhishek, like, who's transformed like this, right? You will find very, very less, right? And that shows, like, how much he still loves learning new things, and the commitment towards, engineering, quality engineering, and all, right?
Thank you, Kapil.
Wonderful.
You're very nice and kind. I'm not sure if I deserve all that, but I really, really thank you, buddy.
Right, right.
And I think coming from background of quality also helps you not be or not have a extremely myopic view in your approach, right? I mean, you're not just working with blinkers on. I mean, I always tell people that I work with, so you can't just be contingent on what you know and what is there on your screen, right? I mean, look at your adjacencies as well. You talked about continuous feedback, right? I mean, and process and upstream quality, right? So I think that is what gives you coming from a background of quality assurance, right? I mean, it helps you not be myopic in any approach that you take as an engineering leader. So, I mean, this is great, Abhishek Kapil. Okay, can we address the elephant in the room? Everywhere, you go to any podcast, any symposium today. We went to Scotland, right, Kapil and I. Everything is about AI today. AI quality assurance, AI powered, AI led. I mean, there are so many
Yeah,
different variations that
yeah.
now, I have lost count. So, Abhishek, what do you make of this sort of AI revolution, right? This transformation that is taking everybody by storm, every company. If you're not doing AI today, that means you're doing nothing in life, right? So, what is your take on where it's headed? How has AI changed the fundamentals of quality engineering? Has it changed any fundamentals or anything at all?
Thank you. And I'm smiling because that's what wherever you go, that's the question comes in,
Yeah,
right? And there are different answers, right? But at the end, it all sums to one thing, right? We all agree AI has brought speed and coverage we could not imagine before, right?
right,
But you got to understand that it also introduced new challenges, like unpredictable output, biased output, yeah, fairness concerns, and something that you cannot explain. So AI is significantly transforming the fundamentals of quality engineering, but you have to be very careful, right? AI is helping us move from manual effort to intelligent automation, right? When I say intelligent automation, as a QA, you understand, finding locators, automating, writing script, but then your test fails because, locator change or something, right? Now AI is giving you to like automate your automation, right? AI it's just one example, right? AI is showing you how to sift from reactive to predictive quality, right? It helps you predict where the bugs are likely to occur. You might have seen, like, if you use Jira, even AI is giving you like how to write steps or steps to reproduce based on past patterns or risk areas. You can predict, right? AI has enhanced because in theory you only are about functional testing, but there's a lot about non-functional testing as well, and AI has enhanced non-functional testing as well. AI tools, there are so
right,
many, right? Can simulate load patterns, you can detect anomalies, you can scan for accessibility issues in the real time, right? So I mean, you can use GitHub Copilot. There are so many. I'm not advocating for one tool, but there are so many. You can build your own. I mean, you guys are smart, I know. But there's so much options: the smart log analyzers or self-healing test frameworks. There are many possibilities that AI is
right.
bringing these days.
So, and I think
True,
that
true.
is, yeah, I mean, so human intuition, right, according to you, it does have a role to play, no matter how advanced these AI systems get, right? I mean, we have also started pivoting from traditional tools to AI powered testing tools, right? So, what's your take on it? Do you really think it has AI and the Gen AI tools that, we look at today? You think they have evolved to a stage where you can comfortably, because companies are, have started firing employees, right? They've started downsizing based on the competencies and the capabilities that these tools have to bring. Right? So what do you think? Do you because I'm a big proponent of having the human intuition take the better of AI. And I think we have already got a headline, right? You said that AI's role is to automate the automation, right? So that's something amazing. So what is your take on it using traditional tools versus AI powered tools?
Let me answer two things in a combined way, right? First is perspective on AI powered testing tools, right? And versus traditional testing approach, because that will help me answer on like your second question about
Right.
and then let me also try to explain my version of what role does human intuition play in all this, right, and why that is important. So let's start with the perspective. So when we talk about AI and testing, it's not about choosing one. It's about combining both for smarter testing. And that's what matters. The future quality lies in the synergy between AI-driven automation and human-led strategy. You cannot just live with one. You've got to combine both. You know, AI powered testing tools are so what I'm trying to convey is not a replacement for traditional methods. They are just an enhancement, to get your things faster, quicker, and that. So it brings speed, it's bring scalability, intelligence, but you need your team, and human to focus on what truly require human insight, like exploratory testing. A lot of QAs, talk about it. AI is not going to give you exploratory testing or design thinking or user-centric validation. So, and you can't be, and you as a human are more strategic than AI. So you got to combine both, right? And then you were talking about, I think, human intuition, right? How it plays
Right.
in quality when AI can automate so much, right? Human Let me rephrase. Human tester notice things that tools can't. It like a confusing flow or edge case or maybe subtle performance issues, right? Uh, Intuitions help you as a human ask the right question, challenge
Right.
assumptions, because AI might have biased assumptions as well. You can
Absolutely.
simulate how users might behave in unexpected ways, because a right human. And if you want to understand, and I don't know if I should be saying this or not, but I watch a Hindi news channel. It's called Ash Tak, right? Go and watch it.
Right.
There's something as Anjana 2.0, and then the
Mhm.
Anjana 2.0 is the AI version.
AI version. Yeah.
Try to
Correct.
differentiate Anjana 2.0 from sorry from Anjana, right? You will see the how human intuition matters, right? And that's what the difference is, and that's why you gotta combine. So you just cannot live with one. You gotta combine. So AI can test what works, but only human can judge what makes sense for real users, right? It can be slow, but
Yep.
does it make sense for the end user? That is most important, because you can't be perfect, right? And you one more thing, like everything is not binary. It's very important to understand everything is not binary. Human can assess gray areas, like whatever is slow. Response is annoying versus acceptable, right? Yeah, I can tell you, oh, it's a slow, right?
Right.
But is it something really annoying you? Is it your, like, or is it something acceptable? What's your priorities are? You are the SME of your project, so you gotta combine it. You just can't just live with one.
Yeah, it has to live in
You
synergy, right? The accountability still remains on the human testers, right? Or the,
and
you could say the human
human
intelligence.
Yeah, human intelligence also, like, you're looking at from the, if you count as a quality assurance, like, the usability perspective is also one of the other thing, right? And as Abhishek rightly said, like, combining, human way of doing the things with AI, right, helps you to increase the overall productivity and the effective results and all, right? That's where, and like Akshay, you were saying about the manual QA and all, right? I think we also covered that in one of our first episodes, like,
Right,
where
we
I
did.
said the manual QA should not be
Yes.
used, right? It should be like you're doing the product quality assurance, right?
Right.
Even if you do the functional QA, right? Find the other ways of how can you add the value from usability perspective, right? Right? Like, also accessible, understanding accessibility, right? You can add a value not just from functional point of view. You also learn about accessibility, right? If you're not that technically great to learn the automation, there are other areas where you can add the value. Understanding the product and the business nuances, and understanding what business is asking actually. That's where as a
Right.
QA you can contribute. And I can tell you somebody who cares about the product knowledge, who understand the end to end about the product, and who understand their customers and all, right. The no company or no customer gonna ask that person to let go actually. If you add value
Absolutely.
from that perspective. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is great. Abhishek, how do you, let's say, I mean, how do you test for, you spoke about that AI brings a lot of bias, right? And that you got to evaluate and then analyze that. And that is where you also need human testers, right? So, how do you test for bias, the explainability in the AI systems that we use today or the AI tools that we use today?
It start with good training data. You got to train, right, and continue with close monitoring of how your models are performing across different groups. That is what is more important. That is what the difference between AI and a human, and even human, right? You need training data, right, to train yourself.
Absolutely.
We also evaluate whether decisions can be explained clearly. The data that you're getting on from AI, can you explain it, right? And then maybe bias, right? And tested biasness of meaning thinking about real world impact, not just precision and recall. So when you're talking about bias in general, like you have to do bias testing by diverse, I would say, audits and outcome comparison across group. So you got to understand it and practice it and maybe improve it, and then maybe ask if one thing changed, would the outcome change drastically. Like, for example, if my test has, like, gender male, right? If I change it as
Right.
female, is it going to change entirely? You got to ask those questions. So you got to test for biasness, you got to check for fairness. Then you also think about explaining the results that you're getting. Can you explain it? And even if AI explains it, right, ensure that generated explanations align with the domain. Kapil was talking about domain knowledge, right? That's what it
Right.
matters. Make sure your results, what you're getting from AI, aligns with the domain logic and user understanding.
Absolutely.
That's what you improve it. That's why I'm going back to your first question, right? That's what humans can be combined, and that's what you can test AI, you can practice it and combine it both.
Absolutely, right? I mean, so
Excellent.
it has to be an amalgamation of your standard as well as the business logic, right? I mean,
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
always been the case. Okay, great. So, you, Abhishek, do you think, I mean, there is such thing as a QA perfectionist, right? Because I mean, I've been doing it for 13 years now. You guys, I mean, more than 2 decades now. Is there such a thing as a QA perfectionist? And yes, how does it adapt to the rapid iteration of AI and the rapid changes that are happening in the AI first world now, so to say?
Let me answer it bluntly. Perfection isn't the goal. Uh, Trust and reliability are, right.
Yeah,
The
Correct.
the right mindset is move fast but validate continuously and responsibly. That's what most important is, right? You
Yeah.
have to define what good enough means to you and learn it, right? Especially in AI, right? Trying to perfect every release can slow you down, right? So perfection isn't the end goal, and you can challenge me, and it's debatable, but I still stand with that, right? You got to build the trust, not the perfection and the reliability. And the key is to release safely, monitor it closely, and improve quickly, right? Not just the perfection. If you just keep perfecting, maybe you'll be behind, so you protect your critical flows. I'm not saying it, but allow room for learning and adjusting. So it's not about just perfection. It's about the trust, reliability, and other factors that combines with it.
trust
And
and
I do agree.
reliability.
I trust and reliability. That's true, Abhishek. And one thing that I would like to add, like it can differ domain to domain, like, what domain you are testing, right?
Yes.
Uh, if you are testing the real time systems and all, right, then there, you have to make sure that, everything is being tested perfectly, like, what you have written, what are the different boundary values and all, right? But if you're testing the different domains, like, going into the e-commerce, ed tech and all, right, and, count any other domains too, right? Then that's there, like, you could have uh, uh, good to have, like, I would say, considering it very good or good to have or enough, thing where you can judge it, like, this is great to have, and it's okay to move with it, right? As far as, the business drivers are calling you to reach that particular milestone.
This is great. So Kapil, how do you actually see, since we do this podcast so that, we can inspire young professionals to have a great career in QA. So good to have versus must have, right? I mean, if you can just exemplify a little, use some examples, as in take any industry, right, that comes to your mind, or I mean, the kind of projects that we typically deal with day in, day out, right? Good to have versus must have. What are those must to do things that a QA, not perfectionist, but a QA leader, right, must take care of?
You're asking Abhishek or me?
I mean, either of
Abhishek.
you can answer. Yeah, Abhishek, if
Let
you can take
Abhishek
a,
answer it.
you
Let
can take a
Abhishek
stab at
answer
it.
it. Yeah.
You got to learn it, Akshay, right? There is no such theoretical thing as like, this is a
Correct.
must or this. You got to learn it. I think Kapil answered it previously, right? And then last question, it depends on what domain you're testing. What is important for you. That is what it matters, right? For health domain is different. For education is different. So you gotta practice it and learn it, right? What is your, you know, what and matters for you. So there is no such theoretical answer that I can give it to, or nobody can give it to. Maybe you can, but I don't think I should even
No,
try. You
absolutely.
gotta practice it and understand. At the end.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And
fair enough.
for the youngsters, like, who want to, I think that was your question too, Akshay, like,
Right,
the,
right.
the the youngsters who wants to build their career into the quality assurance and all, right? Even for the youngsters and who already started their career, like, the one thing that I always ask, especially the folks who join us and start career with us, right, too, and even Abhishek would definitely be asking that to their team members too, right? The make sure your foundation is strong into the quality assurance, right? You understand the quality assurance, the roots actually, right? Even nowadays, while talking to the while taking the interviews and all, I say that, AI is there, probably the complex scenarios or the scripting, that you can also take help from there. But if you are not that strong from the that what Abhishek covered in the earlier questions, right? Somebody who don't think doesn't have the quality mindset, right? Who doesn't take that ownership and all, right? Even if we write the complex automation code and able to solve the problems and all, that doesn't help actually, right? The automation job is to make sure the quality, or even if you use AI into the quality assurance, the job is still going to be make sure that, you're able to deliver the perfect product to the customers, right? Making sure that your experience is better actually.
Yeah, because I think AI today is perceived with the negative connotation. Abhishek, correct me if I'm wrong, right? And the people who are at most risk, right? I mean, people have started fearing AI, right? I'm going to lose my job. And people above 40, right? In the IT sector, especially, right? I mean, they think that, I mean, they can lose their job anytime. So, do you think AI will, how can you adopt AI so that, I mean, you become irreplaceable? Are
Yeah.
there what
Yeah. So let me reiterate what you said in your first question. The first half. AI is not going to replace you. Let me tell you, right? AI is not going to replace you, but a QA engineer who has learned AI will definitely replace you if you don't, right? So you got to
Right.
combine both, right? AI is not going to replace. Yes, your buddy who's going to learn AI and to help his things, with combining his his skills is definitely can replace you. So you got to understand that, right? So it's all about augmenting, right? And AI can handle repetitive tasks, but humans still bring creativity, right? So you gotta have empathy, and you gotta have judgment, and you gotta combine those, right? And I believe you were asking about replacement. So testers won't be replaced. I'm telling you, they'll become quality engineers, analysts,
Right.
and leaders of test strategy. That's how you're shaping. So it's just a shaping. It's not about replacement. So that's what you gotta use it. That's what you're gonna learn. You have to be very creative, right? It just because it's not the end. It's just one of the steps. So you have to use that step, combine it, and there's a lot to come. There's a lot to come. Just don't get too excited about things. You get, and don't leave behind as well. But you use your brain, and that's what matters, right? You got to combine it and augment it, bring creativity, empathy, judgment, and then get you. I don't know if that's what you were trying to ask me, but
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So this is what I tell my juniors, right? And people, I mean, who have limited understanding of the AI revolution, right? I mean, first, don't be in denial. Second, embrace it. It's here to stay. Third, take
Yeah.
advantage of it, right? You don't have to fear the AI, like you said, right? You have to fear the person next to you who has already embraced AI and have started using AI systems, right? It is making him a better person, a better tester, a better developer, right? Whatever the field. I mean, my wife's a doctor, right? And she is using AI now, right? I mean, in whatever field and whatever little way that it can help her become a better doctor. So you have to embrace it. Don't be in denial. And those are the people who will continue to be in denial will be replaced, like you said. So I am glad you brought it up that it's not the AI you got to fear. It's the person who has adopted AI, right? I mean, it has become now he knows for a fact that it is here to stay. It has become an integral part of your life, right? Let's face it. It is here to stay.
that's what
Yeah.
that's what
Even when kids have started using it for homework, though that's
Oh yeah,
being considered like, that's not good,
yeah.
right, for them. So you have to stop them. But they anyhow they're trying to take help actually.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's not a practice that I would
that's
encourage.
not a right practice. That you can consider it, something challenges with AI or the cons, like, you counter it pros cons, right, for anything, right? Right.
yeah.
And like, the one of the question actually you asked Abhishek, like you were asking what is his advice for the ones like, 40 plus and all, right? I know he's just 25, 26, but he can still advise, right? And so much things to learn from him, like, as we've seen his transformation journey, right? So there couldn't be any better master than Abhishek is actually, right? How he always took that those challenges and all, right? And that's what the advice has to be for everybody, right? Who is thinking or who's afraid, right? It's about learning new things, right? If you try hard and you do, I was recently talking to one of my close friend, like they're in US, right? He's in QA, was working as associate director and all, right? And he has spent almost 19 to 20 years there, right? Was working in one company only, right? And she laid off and all. So one thing that she mentioned to me is like, couple, I was a little sad for some time, but then, I realized it's okay. Like, that there is some push coming to me and I'm gonna try something. And she was fantastic, right? There, I contributed a lot actually, worked from engineer to associate director and all, right? And what the right thing that she did is, there was a kind of a layoff actually, and the 50 of the folks were fired from that company. And she clearly mentioned, like, I that she conveyed a very thankful note to the leadership and everybody that others didn't do, right? So the important thing is, whatever you are doing, whatever you have learned so far from any gurus, any teachers, from any leaders and all, you have to be always thankful for the company, for your friends and all, right? And always try to learn. The other thing that she mentioned is that, she's now nowadays, studying a lot, learning a lot. She's gonna try to learn more about AI. She's gonna try to learn, the different domains and all. And that's where, nobody can stop her to get the new job very soon. That I can guarantee,
Right.
right?
Learning gives you perspective, and
Oh,
that's what,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
like, learning and practicing it, right? That's how you get perspective, and that's how you embrace it. So you gotta continue it.
Absolutely. I live by that rule every day. It's been 13 years in cybersecurity, and every day I was just telling Kapil the other day, there is still so much to learn that every day I wake up, I feel like an idiot. That and that Of course, I mean, that could be possibly attributed by the imposter syndrome. That no matter how much you learn, no matter how much you do, right? I mean, you still feel you haven't done enough, you don't know nothing, right? But still, I mean, there is to learn every day, right? I mean, read about it, read about, I mean, the future that awaits. And of course, it will be a marriage of AI and, whatever exists today. So everything will be in synergy and in coexistence, of course. So how do you deal with, I'm sure because you have a lot of young people in your team as well, Abhishek, right? And so how do you deal with, I mean, how do you maintain that balance in your team since you're leading a global team of engineering, right? So how do you maintain that balance of QAs, developers, engineers, right? Test architects? Because I mean, varying age groups, they have varying perspectives on, what the future holds for them.
Yeah, so see, understand, any large organization often runs on multiple stacks. So you might have legacy systems, you might have modern apps, you may have mobile, cloud, AI. There's so many things. You gotta balance it, and it's not about being young or it's more about everybody has a skill. As a leader, you gotta understand the skill of
Right.
your team and how you use them, right? Because everybody is built for something, right? Everybody has a strong hold, right? As a leader, you got to understand them, use them. Let me give you an example. Somebody who understands your system very well, and then you're like, wait, you don't know AI, so I'm letting you go, right? But he understand, or she understands system very well. So you got to understand the skill of your team members, use them in a way that is important, because that's what our leaders responsibility is. So, and as I said, I give you example, right? It's a combination of so many things. So you got to look at everything, combine it, and use it. Uh, um, uh, that required like abstraction and strategy. So not something that you can bring in like in a day one, but you gotta see it, work with your team closely,
Right.
see what they're doing is, what their viewpoints are, and try to adopt it. Maybe you will learn a lot. And I
Absolutely.
always, and I'm trying to distract from a little bit from your question, but when you also do hiring, make sure you hire at least your direct report better than yourself, right? So that they will try to help you, they will try to you will learn from them, and that's how it works. So you gotta see
Right.
it, monitor it, and play with the strong skills. Everybody has a strong skill, I tell you, right? Everybody has a strong skill. You as a leader need to identify that, play with it, and it'll be a happy team.
On a parting note, any piece of advice that you want to leave our young aspiring QA professionals for the AI integrated future, Abhishek? Any one piece of advice?
For sure, and not just for AI, and not just for QA, for everybody, and I repeat it, and I try to practice this as well, which is stay focused, keep your head down,
Yeah.
work hard, deliver whatever you have promised. I'm quoting that word. Whatever you have promised, you gotta deliver it, right? Because your word matters. Understand that it's your word. You have to live with it. What you have promised, you have to deliver it. And doesn't matter what your role is. You can be a CEO, somebody who's starting Q as a QA engineer, engineering manager. Doesn't matter what your role is, whatever your goal is, keep learning, keep showing up, and keep going. Nothing comes in one day. Keep showing up. I think that's what Kapil was saying. Keep showing up and keep going. Because at the end, hard work may take time, but it never goes unnoticed, and you'll succeed by that. But there is no other way. There is no other way other than focus, hard work, and keep going. So keep your head down, and keep going.
Awesome.
Amazing.
This is awesome. Amazing. Thank you, Abhishek
Kapil,
bhai.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. On that note, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Abhishek, for doing this. Really
No, thank you
appreciate it.
Thanks
so
for
Thank
your
you.
much.
time, Abhishek. Thank you so much.